Hello, hello. It is me. It is I, Cassidy, the doll, and I'm here to let you have it. Yes. So, let's get into the things today. So, today we're talking about being clocked as a trans woman and also being outed as a trans woman. Many people think it's the same thing, but there is a difference. So, let's back up a little bit. This is my first video on YouTube. My name is Cassidy. I'm a transgender woman. I transitioned like 15 years ago. And through that time, I've learned a lot of things, and I'm excited to be doing this YouTube channel and sharing my wisdom with all of you. So today's topic, we are talking about getting clocked. So let's talk about what it means to get clocked, what it means to be outed, etc., etc. So if you don't know, what it means to be clocked is basically somebody is able to tell that you are transgender, that you were born one of the X-Men. I mean, it's a little tricky how people can tell. Some people, some trans women have things that are still clockable, masculine, that somebody might read and be like, oh, maybe they were born male or assigned male at birth, or let's be real, they're just gonna say that's a man. But anyways, or maybe sometimes people just, I don't know, they have intuition, honey, and they just know that you used to be, what you used to be. But anyways, that's what being clocked is. Somebody figures out that you're transgender, and you can be clocked as a trans woman, you can be clocked as a trans man, you can be clocked either way, honey. Now, being clocked and being outed are very different. So being outed is somebody knows that you're trans and they disclose that you're trans to other people. So I wanted to discuss what it means to be stealth as well. So for majority of my transition, I've lived in stealth, meaning that I don't tell people usually that I'm trans. I do my day-to-day life, blending into society, and nobody's the wiser, right? I'm not saying I'm the most passable thing on the planet, honey, and the most feminine woman in the world, but I'm passable. I get by. So usually, in most cases, I would say a good 9 times out of 10 people don't know that I'm trans, that I used to be an X-Man and all that good shit. So, I go to work, I go to the grocery store, what the fuck ever. I do everything as a woman. Nobody knows the wiser unless I decide to tell them, which is a very rare incident in my life these days. So when I started my transition from being a man to a woman, I wasn't stealth. So I was pretty much very open with my experience being trans uh, on the internet. I had a YouTube channel. Maybe some of y'all know. If you know me from back in the day, put a comment below and shout it out, hoodie. My YouTube channel used to be called Rakash Armani, and I had some videos on there talking about transitioning, being a drag queen, being a gay man, story times, and things like that. I had a male to female transition video that was very popular, almost 1 million views. And I was also in a movie, a documentary called What's the Tea? And in that documentary, they followed me in my life, mostly in my life as somebody who participated in ballroom culture. And I used to walk realness. I used to walk face, mostly realness. Every now and in a blue moon, I will walk a face. But yeah, so the documentary filmed my life in the ballroom, doing ballroom stuff. So I was pretty out there with my transition and my identity. So what happened that caused me to start living in stealth is I was in a relationship with a man who struggled a lot with his identity, his sexuality, and he didn't tell me I had to be in stealth. So what happened was, if you read my memoir, Brave Story of a Trans Woman, you can get more details on this story and my life in general. So please pick that up if you're interested in knowing more about me. But anyways, in the memoir, I discuss an incident where I was clocked, really outed, really more so by one of his family members. So we went to a wedding, and at the wedding, one of his cousins came up to me, and we struck up a conversation, and I'm just casually talking to this lady. And at the time, I told my name was Armani. So she asked me my name, and I said, "Oh, I'm Armani." And she's like, "Oh, that's different. How'd your parents come up with that name?" or something like that. And which is, I guess, crazy that I called myself Armani, and I spelled it Armani, Armani, which is more so, I mean, it's unisex, but it's leaning towards more so masculine, which I was really into unisex names and still am at the time, because I was like, oh, I'm androgynous. So I wanted to have a unisex name. And then I adapted Armani. And then when I transitioned to a woman, I still kept that same name. So I told her, oh, my name is Armani. And she goes, oh, that's a different name, whatever, whatever. And I'm like, well, it's not my real name. It's more so like a nickname. And then she goes, oh, what's your real name? Mistake number one, bitch. My real... So I told her my real name at the time, my legal name, my dead name, whatever you want to call it, Rakash, Rakash. And I thought that was in the conversation. So, we continued to kiki and talk about bullshit, and that was that. So I went about the wedding and didn't even think about that conversation I had with that lady any further. Fast forward a week later, less than a week later, about a week later, my ex calls me, and he's like, everybody knows that you're trans. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he goes, his cousin, who I will refer to as Nancy, told everybody that I'm trans. And I'm like, I didn't tell her I'm trans. And then he goes, yeah, but she knew about your YouTube. She knew about the movie that you're in, et cetera, et cetera. And I was like, oh shit, well, I told her my real name. Why would you do that? Blah, 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 blah. So basically what happened was she Googled me, Rakash Armani, all my stuff came up with me talking about getting in drags, talking about how to give the illusion of breasts with, at the time, I didn't have top surgery. This is a video pre-transition. And I'm like fully with my nipples out, and talking about tucking and girl, all the things. And then you have the T movie coming up with my name as well. So he was freaking out, to say the least. Nobody in his family knew that I was trans. Well, now they knew, but before they didn't know. And we really didn't know how to navigate the situation, because he didn't know how he would be perceived. So I'll talk about that in another video, about how men who date trans women or in relationships with trans women identify. Most times they identify as straight, and that's how they identify. So he was really distressed by being potentially labeled gay for being in a relationship with somebody who was assigned male at birth. So he had a conversation with me, and he said, well, we can do two things at this point. We can be out, tell everybody, yeah, Armani is transgender. Or we can, and he said that would kill him. Or the other option would be to just lie and say, I'm not transgender, I'm a woman. You know what I mean by woman. And that I'm an actress and I was acting in a movie. And that's that. So being so in love with this person at the time, I did what I thought would be best for him. So we did option B, where I lied and told everybody I was an actress, which sounds so stupid, but it seemed to have worked until, you know, one of his brothers got really aggressive one night with him and told him, oh, why don't you go suck Rakash's dick or something like that. I wasn't there. And then they got into a fight, and then his brother moved out. And when his brother moved out, it was like the heat was taken off of us, and everybody just kind of like forgot about it and moved on for the most part. But in the back, I feel like in the back of everybody's mind, they were still like wondering, like, oh, is Armani a man or whatever. But that situation where I was outed and clocked really traumatized me, to say the least. So after that situation happened, I came to the realization that it's safer to live in stealth. I'm not risking, I'm not really risking anything by living in stealth, because I mean, and still to this day, the times that we live in, how people treat trans women, trans people in general as well, is horrible. I mean, you all know the politics. I'm not getting into it, but you all know the politics, and you know, yeah. So now I'm at a point to where I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Who knows knows. And I'm doing this YouTube channel as an opportunity to build community, because when I decided I would live in stealth, I disconnected myself from my queer family, which is something I regret tremendously. And it's something that affects me to this day. I mean, I think it's a John Waters quote in one of his movies, Female Trouble, where one of the characters says, the world, something like this, the world of heterosexual is a sick and boring life. And God damn it, it's the truth. This is very isolating, very lonely, and very boring to live in stealth. There is a safety component to it, of course, but I'm at the point in my life where I'm like, I want to build community more than living in isolation out of fear. So some other things that happened recently, not recently, but has happened, is looking at all my queer family, my friends, my girlfriends who are trans, blossom and be out with their transition, and the opportunities that have presented themselves to them. I mean, I feel envious, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the movie What's the Tea was really one of the first movies like that at the time. And it could have been so much bigger than what it was, but I decided to not do the promotion. There was talk about going on Wendy Williams, there was talk about reality TV after it, but I'm like, nope, I'm not doing any of it. And I really regret that, and I wish that I had the nerve to say, you know what, I am who I am, and who is with me, and who don't like me, then fuck them. Shout out to Raven Ova. So yeah, that's pretty much what this video was about. And what I have as far as advice to fellow trans women or fellow trans men who are living in stealth out of fear, don't let fear control your life. I missed out on so much because I was afraid to be who I am and tell people who I am. And regret is a bitch. And it's one thing, you can't go back in time and change things and the opportunities that you'll miss, the relationships, the friendships, the community, the opportunities that I've missed out on. I regret so much, and I hope that I have a lot of life left to live, and I hope that I'm able to experience more queer joy. So that's pretty much it for now. So if you like this video, then bitch, subscribe. What is it? Like, comment, and subscribe, please. I'm trying to build this up, and I hope you'll be here with me on this journey. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So stay tuned, and I will see y'all later. All right, bye.